Hi, this is April.
And this is Sheree.
And welcome to
The Spiral Show.
This is the Spiral Show. This is the Spiral Show. This is the Spiral Show. This is the Spiral Show.
No place you ever heard.
Today we're going to be talking about Santorum, GCB, or Good Christian Bitches. And Octomom is back in the news. So our first subject today will be about Santorum. Apparently in a press conference, or I think it was like when you go out, a campaign, he was talking about Barack Obama, and he may have slipped in the N-word. I'm not quite sure about this, but he had pretty much hesitated. And then he went on to the rest of his speech. It was pretty crazy. It was a nip, and then he just kept going. He did not say the full word, but it is speculated that that's what might have been.
Yeah, I'm going to put the link to the video in the description below. And I guess you guys will have to judge for yourself on whether or not you hear him in the process of saying the N-word. And he was just like in the middle of a sentence, and he was saying something in regards to how Obama's, presidency has gone, and he said, and Obama, I think he says, and Obama is blank, and I don't know if it was the N-word or not that he was trying, that was coming out of his mouth. I personally don't believe it was, because it didn't fit into what he was saying, really. But however, in his mistake of trying to correct himself, he still said nigga. I mean, he may not have been trying to say it, but he still said it, and I believe that at that point he should have stopped and corrected himself, and try to do some kind of correction instead of what he did. He was fumbling around, and then he just went on to a whole nother subject or a whole nother sentence. Now, that to me probably would not have been the way that I would have corrected myself if I had said nigga, whether it had been on an accident or not.
See, and I don't think it was an accident. I think it's something that comes out of his mouth regularly. I think that word, if you watch the video, it's just flowing. There's no way you could have got it mixed up with any other word, unless if you're talking about, I don't know what you would be talking about, actually, but I really do think he was not thinking at that point, and that's going to hurt his campaign.
Now, some people say that that he was trying to say negotiator.
Oh.
So, where, nigga.
But why wouldn't you say the rest?
And I just don't know how he tripped up in trying to say negotiator in that way, because he could have just finished the word. He could have just said negotiator or something like that. But what he didn't even finish the word. He just moved on to another sentence, which to me just seemed a little crazy. I was like, why did he just move on to another sentence? Now, I still don't believe that he was going to use the N-word. I think that he's a little bit more bright than that. I'm not denying that he uses that word in his house, when his friends are around and anything, but I don't think that at that particular moment, that's what he was trying to say. Now, remember when he had said, something along the lines of, I'm not trying to help black people. Mm-hmm. And then he said that he wasn't trying to say black people, he was trying to say blah people.
Yeah.
That was, in that case, I think he was
pretty clear.
Definitely making it up. Now, some people have said that the video is fake or doctored. And as far...
There's no way it could be.
Now, his campaign has denied that he was not going to say the N-word or not trying to use the N-word. Of course, they would deny it. but they have not denied at all that this video is real. So the video is most likely real because they haven't said that it was fake. They just denied the fact that he was trying to or about to use the N-word and corrected himself in that.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum on this one, so it's all good. But I mean, just don't vote for Santorum. If you do, I will cry.
I mean, when it really comes down to it, Rick Santorum has much bigger. There's much bigger problems with Rick Santorum.
Yes.
I mean, he said some of the most outrageous things. I mean, I would leave quotes in the description below of some of the stuff that Rick Santorum has said and has stood behind saying, and it wasn't an accident, and it wasn't something that, he may have not been trying to say. This is stuff that he really has said. So there's way bigger issues with Rick Santorum, that people can point out, and it won't even be something that's up for debate. Because some of the stuff this guy says, I can't even believe that people would take him serious as a candidate.
He's ridiculous.
I mean, if I was the Republicans, I would just denounce him, period. I would be like, I don't know this guy. I don't want to have anything to do with him. I mean, I would just denounce him and move on, because he seems like he has just a mouth on him. And when he said, when he had cussed out that news reporter, or I guess he thought the news reporter was giving false information, and then he just cussed him out. I mean, man, you're sitting up in here talking about your good Christian values and all of this stuff, and you're just sitting up just cussing people out in the same sentence.
See, that's reason alone to believe that he might have been saying the N-word. Just saying. That's reason alone, with all this stuff going back draft. But, he might not have been. And I also know he's been compared to Sarah Palin with the Tea Party. Like, he is the guy, Sarah Palin. That's so crazy.
Yeah, because, I'm not necessarily saying that, I'm not saying that you can't be a Christian and cuss, and slip up and say a cuss word. What I'm saying is that if you're going to be super, super righteous Christian and on this campaign trail to get rid of pornography, because it's such a sin.
He's trying to get rid of pornography.
What did you say?
He's trying to get rid of pornography?
Oh, yeah. He said when he becomes a president, he's going to ban pornography and make pornography illegal.
Good luck with that.
But I feel like if you're going to be doing all this stuff, you can't just be going out acting all crazy like that and losing your temper with reporters who are just doing their job. That's all. And I think that, he said that on purpose. I think he said that cuss word on purpose so people can pay attention to him, because people really haven't been paying much attention to Rick Santorum because of his mouth and the things that he lets come out of his mouth.
Right. All right. So next topic is a TV show on ABC. It's called GCB, also known for Good Christian Bitches. And this has received a lot of controversy in the church because no one wants to believe that the church has hypocrites. No one wants to believe that the church isn't perfect. No one wants to believe that some of the things they're saying in this TV show are true, no matter how ridiculous. It is a little over the top, a little ridiculous, but it does have a lot of truth to it.
Me and April had a debate on whether or not they would be able to have that title, Good Christian Bitches, just like that on TV. And I was like, there's no way that they would be allowed to have that title on TV because it's inappropriate. And nobody wants their kids scrolling through the TV and
seeing the word bitch.
Seeing that just right there. Not that they don't say the word bitch on TV, because they say that word all the time. As a matter of fact, they said it in the pilot of the show. On the TV show, they said it. Mm-hmm. So, I just wanted to point that out. Also, I watched the show. I only watched one episode. Just watched the pilot in order to be able to give accurate, uh, an accurate account here on our show. And I can see where the controversy is coming from. Also, at the same time, I agree with April that there is some truth behind this show, and I have seen it for myself. There were a lot of hypocrites in the church. There's a lot of people who will quote a Bible verse and at the same time, be trying to do everything they can to destroy your life. But who was it? I don't know if it's the director of this show or the creator of this show that is a Christian herself. Somebody involved in the show, in creating this show, is a Christian. I think. So I was surprised at some of the stuff that went on in this show. This show for me is inappropriate for TV, and I think the reason why I feel that way is because the stuff that goes on with the opening scene alone, that was very inappropriate and completely unnecessary. Because they could have shown that situation without going where they went with it. And a lot of the stuff in there, I just don't see the point of the show, really. I don't know what the point is, what the motive was behind it. But at the same time, I feel like for me to say that this show was inappropriate, it would be a little hypocritical on my part, too, because a lot of shows on TV are inappropriate. If people want to boycott this show, then they have to boycott all the rest of the inappropriate shows on TV. And I think that people's main issue is because this show exposes a lot of stuff that goes on within the conservative Christian church. Yep. And it's scaring people. It's
down south too, and it's a southern church. It's a very southern church, very rich church. So that stuff happens.
But so I think that what's happening here is the conservative Christian church is afraid to have some of that stuff exposed and out there. Because a lot of people look at black churches and they say, oh, all this gossip and all this stuff goes on in the black churches. But not a lot of people recognize that the same thing is going on in the conservative, mostly white churches. The same thing is going on. It's just not out there like that. And a lot of people don't talk about it. So I think that that is the main issue that people have with this show. Because like I said, it is inappropriate. A lot of the stuff in the show is inappropriate. I think that the problem is that it's not that the show is inappropriate, because if that was the problem, people would be boycotting TV over the place.
Well, yeah, TV as a whole.
TV period, because you cannot turn on your TV without having something inappropriate in your face. Right. And I think people probably have a problem with they have a guy that's undercover gay. Oh, they sure do. They have a guy in there that's an undercover gay.
They sure do.
And I think that's another issue that people have. They don't want to realize that a lot of these men in this church that go to church every Sunday and they have wives are gay. They just have not came out yet, or they're too afraid to come out. And
because it's all repressed.
People want to pretend like this doesn't happen in the church. It does happen in the church, and it happens in every church all over the place. We have, this kind of stuff going on, and it ain't gonna help to, try to sweep it under the rug or not talk about it.
We have to be more. We need to have more of a conversation in the church especially about stuff that are so taboo about that, like gay, struggling with sex, whatever sex may be in general. You go to church and you praise Jesus and you're like, oh, hallelujah. And then you go home and you're like, oh, I still have that struggle. I don't understand. I said this prayer. It's not that easy. I think we need to have more of a discussion. I think people need to be more honest and upright about that type of thing, because in Christian, big conferences, in hotels, the statistics for pornography go up in that state. I don't know by how much, but like
The stats go up depending on which state is having a big Christian conference.
Oh, yeah.
And the hotels.
Yeah.
The stats for pornography go up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, no, it's not surprising, but no one wants to fess up to it.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants to talk about that, even though, you know, that's happening. It's you know, I don't know. I feel like a lot of complaints and stuff that people in the Christian church have, they're valid, but at the same time, they don't want to address other real, you know, issues that are going on.
Yeah, and I also think with ABC putting the show out there, they know Desperate Housewives is ending this year. So I really think they might have put this show kind of as a, here's a new thing you can get hooked on.
Oh, yeah.
Or else we're going to go crazy because we'll lose viewers.
And also they know by having a title like that, you know, they're going to get the controversy, they're going to get people talking about it, and they're going to get people to watch the show. Because I watched the show only because I wanted to be able to talk about it for our show. And I would never have watched the show if there was no, you know, if people hadn't had this controversy and people haven't been talking about this.
Right.
So they knew what they were doing when they got themselves into this. They know that title is inappropriate and people are going to go crazy.
And for all of you who think Walt Disney would not be okay with it, he would be. Just saying, just putting that out there. Walt Disney, he was not a saint.
Okay, what does Walt Disney have to do with anything?
Everyone thinks because it's ABC, ABC Family is a part of Disney. ABC and ABC Family is all integrated into Disney now. So they're all like, Walt Disney would roll over in his grave. Nope, he wouldn't.
No, Walt Disney would not have rolled over in his grave, as a matter of fact. And if you watch the Disney movies, you will see all kinds of perverse, weird things inside of the movies.
Yes, you will.
He would not have had a problem with it at all, because he's constantly putting perverse subliminal messages in, you know, in the movies. And they've been doing that since the beginning of Disney movies, where they just put all kinds of stuff, you know, in there that you can just all kinds of craziness. I mean, I don't think he would have had a problem with it at all.
No.
He probably would have been all about it. As long as they didn't have any black people in it.
Right.
But anyway.
And regretfully, GCB is a little biased on the race issue. It's racial. It has a lot of, like, white, predominant, good doing Christian Americans. That's basically. So, hey, Walt Disney was like, alright, let's do this. All over it. Topic number 3. Octomom is back in the news. Why, do you ask? Because she has 14 kids, and after vowing that she would not go on welfare or food benefits, she had to. She's running out of money. The state gave her $2,000 a month for this, which is averages to about $4 a day. And she's just, you know, she's a single mom. She had embryos planted into her for these kids, and she thought she would have no problem doing it. Comments?
I don't know personally why she wanted to have so many children. I mean, did she have a father for these kids beforehand? There's
never been a father figure in there.
Well, that's not very
always
smart.
Been single.
I don't know why she wanted to do this. I think she should have a mental evaluation.
Oh yeah. And
if they haven't evaluated her mentally, they should, because I have no idea why anybody would want to put themselves in that kind of situation.
I don't know.
And I also wanted to clarify that yes, she did receive $2,000 in welfare. However, you know, it is just food. She can only use it for food, and they closely monitor it and make sure that she can only use it for food. And it's on a special account just for her, apparently. I didn't know they did that, but apparently they do where she's from. And I don't really see a problem with it. I mean, she has a lot of kids that she apparently can't take care of, and, you know, she did the right thing in order to feed her kids. When it comes down to it, if you're desperate and you're a mom, you're going to do what you can to make sure your kids are fed regardless of what you said before, or how anybody's going to look at you, or how anybody feels about it. I don't know. I think it's not right for her to have that many kids that way.
Right. I think the only issue I have with it is the fact that she said she would never go on welfare. She was 100% confident that she could do this by herself, which brings in a lot of news attention. She had a lot of that for a while. So I do wonder if she spent all of that money on frivolous things or didn't think about saving all this. And she did put down John and Kate because they were on a TV show to help with her finances. She put down John and Kate plus 8, and then she put down the Duggars for being on a TV show. I wonder if she's biting herself in the butt for that now.
Well, that's the thing. Don't talk about anybody else in that situation if you have any kind of... Well, just don't talk about other people, in that kind of way.
Right.
Calling people out for, trying to feed their kids. And everybody can end up in any kind of situation. And that's just the truth. Anybody can end up in any kind of situation. Some of the richest people have ended up on the streets, because they didn't, take care of their finances the right way. Mm-hmm. So to think that to be arrogant enough to make a comment about how somebody else is trying to make money to feed their kids is ridiculous, because you could be in that very same situation with them, and then you look stupid like she does now. She should not have said anything about who is, about John and Kate plus 8 and the Duggars and how they were making money to feed their kids, because now people are going to look at you and, and say, oh, well, she said, that this about these people, and now look at her on welfare.
Yep.
But people should not make comments about that kind of stuff. People need, people are just out here trying to feed their kids, and try to make sure that their kids have what they need. And, as a mother, common sense should have told her not to say, make any comments like that. That's ridiculous. But, This is a shorter show than we normally do, but we just wanted to talk about a couple of topics today, mm-hmm. and thank you guys all for watching. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, and comment about Rick Santorum. I really want to know what you guys think of if he said it or if he didn't. So look at the link, comment, argue, do whatever,
And also, do you think that Octomom should be on welfare? Do you think that it's wrong for her to be on welfare?
Yes.
And please like, please subscribe, please comment. It's so important that you guys do this. If you want updates fairly quickly about when we put up our show, it's important that you subscribe.
Yep.
So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
So bitch you ever heard.